guest in the house. Coach Nine is with us. And look, we getting ready to drop down some serious tips and tools to help you level up and become unbreakable. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Coach Nine in the house. Thank you for being here with us today. I appreciate you coming through Unbreakable Podcast. We're going to give you time to get your audience in. I know you got a big following. I know you've helped a lot of different people. And thank you for the work that you do. It's a pleasure having you. So thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. So look, I'm going to just do a little introduction about Coach. I know she has coached at D1, D2, and D3. I know she's played at D1. You played pro ball.
I did.
And you also have an organization, Open Arms TH, where you help. And we're going to talk about that too, on things that you do and how you give back. But, you know, our platform is really about helping people, equipping people with the tools that they need in order to be able to level up, to make adjustments, and to have vision and foresight. So if you get a college scholarship, you think you're going to just college, and that's usually as far as you can see. I'm going to go college and maybe go pro. But really what that detail should look like is, okay, I'm going to be in school 4 years. I'm going to be in school 5 years. Okay, in 5 years, I'm going to try to get a master's. Okay, when I get a master's and I'm in college, I'm also going to network and build collaborations with next level people so that when I leave college, I have connections. Mm-hmm. Those were all the things that I had no clue about doing, because when you play sports, you're kind of isolated to just the team culture, yeah, but not the campus culture. And so we're going to talk about that. So Coach Nan, thank you for being here with us, and tell us a little bit about your pro journey, the difference between things you did in college and what you experienced in the pro. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes. So again, thank you so much. And I was trying to get the link out as well.
Okay.
Hopefully people could tune in, tap in, and we're gonna still keep rocking and rolling it. But my time, you said my time in the pros.
In the pros, yes. What was the difference between college expectation and the professional expectation?
Yeah, so to playing for the Flint Monarchs, just that opportunity that I had, just really to play amongst some high level players, anywhere from the Big Ten to, you know, Pac-12. I mean, just the MAC, and you had mid-major, high major teams or players that I either grew up with, played against, and I think the biggest thing was just understanding that there's no set schedule when you're playing pro. When you're in college, you pretty much still have a schedule. You still have a flow that they give you. You're still kind of in a certain parameter that you have to operate in. However, is at the pro level, you got to get up on your own time. If you want to be good and you want to play and you want to be successful, you gotta work. The work ethic is just slightly different. You are telling you when to grind. I think that really helped me prepare. I learned how to have repetition in a completely different way when I started to play pro. And I wish I could have understood more in college, because you're doing all these workouts and stuff and you understand it. However, when you get to the pro level, it's like, okay, I understand why we did these things. I wish I took it a little more serious. However, it really just helps you flourish and grow pro-wise when you start to tap into a different dynamic of repetition.
Okay, so on Unbreakable, what you described was behavior mastery, kind of understanding how you take in information at the college level and understand that to the fullest, because that's what drives your pattern for performance.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have a full understanding of that at one level, when you go to another level, you kind of look back and wish you had took things a little bit more seriously or been a little bit more astute. I know I felt that way.
Yeah.
It took my body 3 years to adjust at the college level because I didn't prepare at the high school level like I should have. And out of 120 guys, I
Mm-hmm.
was probably in the bottom 10.
Okay.
And so that behavior mastery is really super important. And so when you talk about people being like having grit and never giving up, I'm pretty sure at the college and at the pro level, you saw people that didn't make it versus people that did make it or
Mm-hmm.
stayed with the game. What were some of the things that caused people to break or give up at either the college or the pro level that you've experienced?
Um, in terms of, I think when you say break, is really just what's really inside of you, what's driving you. You know, I have a saying that I usually say: if you don't know what's pushing you, you best to know what's pulling you. You definitely need to know what's pulling you. So if you don't know what's motivating you every day to get you up and get you going and taking you to that next level, it's gonna be a struggle, and that's not something that everybody just wakes up with. You have to learn this over time. I've definitely had to learn it in multiple uh, capacities of my life, from high school, from college. You know, I had a lot of adversity in college. I've had a lot of losses, near and dear losses to me that still affect me to this day. And you know, during that time, you couldn't just go home and just get over it. You still had to be a student athlete. And then when you still have adversity later on in life, it's a grind, but just really what's inside of you. And you know, people say that dog. You know, when that dog come out, what is it gonna look like? Is it gonna look like a poodle? Is it gonna look like a chihuahua? Or do you have a Rottweiler, pit bull inside of you? And I think the circumstances determine what come out. You know, even as a coach, I couldn't be a pit bull all the time because you're dealing with young people, you're dealing with young minds, and they have to be nurtured in a certain way. So I think it's the same thing. It's just what what was inside of me that wanted to be better, and I just always wanted to be better, no matter what was going on, no matter what struggles I was having on or off the court. It was just that desire, and I just think that it's important for people to know where they are in life, and it's okay to be in that space. And how do you move from that space to really help you get to whatever other levels you're trying to go to, so that you really can understand, you know, what do you need to bring out. So
Right.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, well, what you described was like really being all having an authentic identity. What happens from my experience coaching on the field and from the field to the boardroom, seeing that high level performance, a lot of people, when you don't know who you are or how you're wired, you don't know what your
Mm-hmm.
role is off the court, outside or off the field. You identify what you do with who you are, and that's a fault. That's a wrong. That's a no. Y'all don't do it. Find out who you are beyond what you do. And that's where the wiring comes
Yeah.
in. And that's one of the tools that we work with all the time with an assessment. I believe I got a championship tool. I only collect championship type stuff. So, but we
Yeah.
help the players line up going into college and even going into the pros, especially when you have all that money, because the statistics say 70% of athletes are bankrupt or broke 3 to 5
Yeah.
years after they retire or stop playing. That means they don't really know who they are when they went into the game. The game was them. And really, that's not the case. And so that's why you got people like Ray Lewis and everybody out there. They trying to help and
Mm-hmm.
communicate. So we're a part of that culture. And so thank you for the work that you do also. Um, Let me ask a question. I got a question from one of the audience members. Let me pull it up here. It came in. Can you share a moment as a pro athlete or a coach when you nearly broke, and what did you do to pull through?
Did that really come from an audience member? Or did that...
Yeah, we want to know, coach. We want to know. Coach's coach.
When I almost broke as a player.
You choose. Well, what almost broke you as a player? Because I've seen players walk away from scholarships.
Yeah.
That's what the transfer portal does. I don't like what's going on here. I'm going to transfer over here versus tightening up the belt and do the things that you need to do in order to prevail. So what was your experience? Because I want to be able to share your experience with everybody else, because it's the same across the board. Man, woman, competitor.
Yeah.
So what was one of those things that caused you to almost break?
I mean, I think it's important to know. I know I look very young and vibrant, but I was playing at a different day and time. 2005 through 2009 was a lot different athletically and as a student athlete than it is of today. So still same sport, still same dynamic, but what the young people are privy to today was a lot different from what we had. We couldn't just up and transfer. So that was a big difference. And it was, you couldn't just say, well, I don't like it here, or it's not working out, it's not a good match. We didn't have those avenues. You either had to figure it out or figure it out. And I think I definitely chose to figure it out. But I would say what almost broke me, I don't know. I mean, it's two things. I'm gonna share one.
Okay.
One was my college teammates. If they're on here listening, they probably know the first one because it really put a big shift in my life. But I would say when my brother passed, my brother, I grew up with my god brother. His name is Osakwe Ndegwajahi. He passed my sophomore year, and it was a hard time for me. It was hard moment in terms of me personally, but performance-wise, that year I started our first 12 games of that season. My teammates came to the memorial service in Detroit, and it was like, I don't know if they really knew how to really handle me because I didn't show any signs of not being okay until midway through the season. And my coaches, they said, hey, I think you need to see somebody. And at that time, for today, what this is known as is mental health. But during that time, as a student athlete, we didn't have things in place for us to know how to navigate death and loss, things of that nature. So we kind of had to deal with it. And our teammates definitely didn't have the tools. Our coaches didn't have the tools to know how to navigate that. So I had to figure it out. And I went to a professor. I still have a great relationship with her to this day, Professor Deborah Godwin Starks. She was on campus, and she was one of my communications professors. And she we talked. And she had a loss as well. She had lost, I believe, her sister. So she really helped me through that time. And I think that really allowed me to probably help me as I became a coach. And a lot of times things happen in our lives and we don't realize how it will help us be who we become. But that moment helped me become a better coach. When I started to coach, it helped me become a better friend, a better teammate. It just allowed me to really navigate life differently, because had she not been there, I wasn't really reaching out to people. I wasn't really sharing with people how I was feeling. I did create a video for him. We That was actually one of my biggest releases. I'm a mass media and public communications major, and my minor is media production. So I made one of our projects in class was we had to do a project of some type of video, and I did a whole video on him and how that moment of losing him affected me, and it was my biggest release. And I had a classmate that helped me edit it and everything. We had to record, get different shots. I recorded my parents, I recorded my sister, I recorded his mother, to really get that release out. But I feel like had I not had all those things in place, I think it would have broke me,
Right.
because that was by far one of the biggest losses in my life. It's still, like I said, it still affects me to this day, not having him here. Um, he's the reason why I became a better. He used to bully me when I played basketball and help push me to be a better player. And when I started getting taller than him, I thought I was gonna beat him, but he was just faster and quicker. But he believed in me. He was like, man, you're gonna be a star. You're gonna be so. He always tell me that. Just that moment. I think had I not had those things in place and really good teammates, some of them I still have great relationships with to this day. A lot of them really, as best as they could during that time, tried to help me through. But that could have broke me.
That could have broke you. So I think I just want to kind of recap just a little bit about what you said. All of us in college, after college, at some point in time in our life, we experience a loss.
Mhm.
A loss of a job, a loss of a loved one. It could be a friend, it could be a parent, it could be a sibling, it could be somebody that you're really close with. Whenever you have a loss, you do need support. You do need help. Get coaching. Reach out to somebody because those things is toxic and it can play with our minds, it can play with our hearts. And getting coaching or counseling or talking with someone really helps to deal with the grief and the loss. I understand that. Right before we went to the Rose Bowl, I got my foot crushed,
Mm,
broke 2 bones, cracked 3,
mm.
and dislocated 5. It
Dang.
was a career-ending injury, and I'm gonna tell you, I needed help.
Yeah,
I should have got some type of counseling because I had dreams of going pro. And when a shift like that drastically happens, it does affect you.
yeah.
And so
Mm,
I had about 30 credits left. I walked away from my scholarship.
mm.
In my 5th year, I had 2 semesters left, but the environment was so depressing.
Yeah,
I knew that God was saying, get out of there because of the things I had started to do was self-destruction. I started doing things that just wasn't healthy for my body. And so get that. You made it through that. You really showed persistence and grit in the face of adversity. You did partner with someone,
yeah.
talk with that professor, and that's really good. We need to vomit and get that stuff out, get a new perspective, or just get that weight off of us somehow, some way, so that we can at least begin to move forward and continue to go on. Okay, so
Absolutely.
I got another question because about 7 of them came in, Coach. So I got another question for you.
Okay. All
Uh,
right, you here?
so you talked a little bit about your brother. So when you hear the words unbreakable, um, how did that play out in your life journey?
Um, I think just I mean, life is gonna test you. It's gonna test you, but most importantly, it's gonna bless you. I think from every test I have had, I've had a blessing come from that, even from coaching. And I got into coaching, and like you just your heart is so pure, but because I was raised on, everybody is together and everybody is part of love and everybody is part of community, and I got into the world and saw some things differently. It was hard to shift from that because you're like, nah, people gonna bounce back, they gonna figure it out, and it has been a struggle. It's been a struggle. If I'm being honest, and friendships sometimes, personal relationships, and it can be. But certain situations when I got into coaching, just thankful that I have some really solid people in my life that know who I am, and know what I'm about. Because if you allow the outside noise, to the white noise, to conflict you, you might get lost in who you are yourself sometimes. So I'm just big on, we're gonna figure out a way. We're gonna let the universe speak for yourself. It has in every situation that I've been through, and even with my first coaching job, there was some things that went down that still to this day I could really be bitter about. But I'm like, nah, like the players who received us, the players who needed us, got it from it. Um, we know what happened. We know that we were there for a bigger purpose, and I got an opportunity to really step my foot in the door, and that opportunity didn't stop at that place because of people not being able to receive who you really are. And unfortunately, it happened at HBCU. And you would think things would be different, but you just got to keep going on. And it didn't stop me from looking at HBCUs differently. It just allowed me to put my antennas up a little bit more on certain things. And I'm just blessed that didn't stop me from giving the light to other players at other schools that needed me. So I hope that's answering the question that, just when stuff happens, adversity happens, I think just for me, just knowing that the universe is going to speak for me has been probably the biggest thing that has not been what unbreakable. I'm saying, I guess that's what we saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you definitely have to be plugged in and align yourself with your gift, talents, and strengths, and really have not a self-awareness, but a deep self-awareness, so that you're able to rebound and make better decisions, create better relationships, get better at leadership. It's not, I'm done with college, okay, I never have to learn anymore. In fact, I don't think you start learning until you pass 36 to 40. Because for some reason we think we know everything, but when we get about 30s, for me it was 28. I tapped out at 28 because my life didn't go down the path I thought it was. But a lot of people that I see, they think they know. It's right around the age of 35, 36, they start saying, it's not really what they was saying, and then until you get into things like coaching and you get at those different levels, you don't get that experience showed to you as quick. It's a little bit more of a slower motion. And, the athletic realm is a really fast paced coaching. That coaching game changes, they don't like something, you out. You don't play the alumni's way, you out. You either play the game and you say, I'm not playing the game, and you go for the wins, you out. And you have to be equipped a little differently in order to ride that bus. And so as we get ready to come around and get ready to close out towards the end, you have an organization, Open Arms THTH. Tell us about your current project and the things that you're doing with Open Arms. And by the way, congratulations. This is Open Arms' third year.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, well, congratulations on the work that you do. But tell us a little bit about Open Arms THTH and what the mission is and what you're currently doing there.
Yeah, so it's Open Arms, touch a hand, touch a heart. I did the abbreviation just so it can flow smoothly on the articles of incorporation, things of that nature. But it's really just to bring it full circle, just a combination of everybody who's had a hand in my life, my journey, who's opened their arms to me, who's touched me, who's blessed me, who's helped me in any capacity, whether it's through just friendship, whatever, coaching, my tribe that helped raise me. It's literally people that I meet today. It's just everybody who's had a hand in the person I've become. And as you said, you get to a certain age. I think I'm still learning. I'm in that 30 some range, but I'm still learning.
Right.
And I'm just blessed. But it's really just people who poured into me, who allowed me to be the person I am today, whether they're here physically or spiritually. My uncle Bruce, right before I got out of coaching, I called him. I was still in Chicago. I said, Uncle Bruce, I'm going to transition out. I'm starting to do something different. And he got quiet. He said, man, I want to see you being a coach, but I know whatever you're going to do, you're going to be great at it. And he transitioned a few months after that. But, just to know that, people see you standing sometimes and they see you smile and they see you moving, but they don't often see what's holding you up. And it's a lot of energy that's holding me up. It's a lot of people that's holding me up on days where I'm like, this is a lot, but I just stick to the tools. I've done the work. I still do the work every day. 2020 was big for me. I tapped into therapy around that time. I grew up very spiritually, but I had to come full circle moment back to that and really get back into my gifts and really that's really what this program is all about. 10 years of coaching. It started off as wanting to be a sister circle when I first started coaching and just giving young women a space to release outside of basketball, outside of what we did every day from being a student athlete, and just give them an outlet to talk. And we did that with our players, but over time it grew into so much more. From my last school where I asked my players, hey, what do you all want to talk about? We had our own little groups that we talked in. And in that group, I asked the 4 young women in that group, I said, what do y'all want to learn? And it was literally every single thing I'm doing with Open Arms. They wanted more spiritual growth. They wanted financial empowerment. They wanted more building and self-development. And literally, I was like, this is it. This is it. So, our steps are ordered before we even move. It's just a matter of us walking into it and doing the work to really be able to walk into it. You can't walk in big footprints with little baby feet, right? You gotta really do the work.
Come on, coach.
You gotta really do the work and really put the time in. And often people are walking into spaces themselves that they trying to take with them. And I'm just blessed that what you see is in front of you is what you get. If whatever people feel or hold on to from somebody I no longer am, that's no longer a part of my purpose. But that's Open Arms, touch a hand, touch a heart.
Thank you for sharing with that. So look, get coaching, get mentoring, become a part of a group or circle that's going somewhere. People want personal development. People want financial increase. And in order to do that, you can't do it by yourself. You have to plug into the right sources. You even heard the fabulous Coach Nam say, you can't open new doors with an old key. You have to get a new key to open new doors. And sometimes doing it by yourself is not the fastest way. It is actually the slowest way. We're made to partnership. We're made to have gifts and talents that need to be cultivated. And in order to get our gifts and talents cultivated, we have to be coached and we have to go through a process in order to be able to get to that next level. And so, Coach Nine, your video that you shared with me, pin it. If it's not already pinned, can you pin it for the next 24, 48 hours to the top of your Instagram? Look, y'all, go check out her video. It is awesome. I didn't quite have a skill set to get it here today,
Okay.
but y'all really need to go check out what she's doing. She's doing an amazing job in coaching these young women and team development with sports team girls all over the U.S. And probably around the seas. This is probably her next endeavor to be able to train ladies all over the world. And it's the same thing us men do. We all want to be able to go to the next level. Coach Nine, thank you for being here with us today. I appreciate having you, and you got to come back and see us.
No problem. And I wanted to say that I work with outside of sports. I work with a lot of athlete organizations and stuff as well. So I do want to give a shout out to all the organizations that's not sports related that have brought me in and allowed me to work with their staff and things of that nature.
All right, all right. So y'all heard it from the fabulous Coach Nine. Coach Mitchell, Ollie Mitchell. We want to get this podcast to you. You coached her sister, so we want to get this in your hands so that you can see and just connect with us all. But in the meantime, everybody have a fabulous Thursday, and thank you for joining us on Unbreakable.